Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Act 3. We are delighted that you are here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks again for watching our last episode and welcoming Kevin to the guest host. He did a great job, don't you think? I sure do. And I know that the rest of our volunteers were just so fun to watch, to listen to, and to enjoy. So we do hope that you had a really good time. We had a great time putting it together for you. But we're now ready for our next new adventure. Today's show, we're going to talk all things holiday season. I'm hoping that it will be a nice rest for so many people and that they will enjoy the Christmas season. But in the meantime, we've got a few things that might make it a little bit easier for you. So do yourself a favor, as always, grab yourself a beverage, enjoy the show. We'll see you in a few minutes.
I'm sitting on the edge of love and happiness. Never experienced such a moment as this. So if you got that good feeling in your body and you want to bring this moment to life, come with me, we'll hit the town. Let's go right now and live the life. I just want to shine like the sky up like a sunset, living with no regrets. I just want to shine.
Hi, I'm Elspeth Erickson, and I'm here with our first guest, Mann, with Chrysalis Creative Home Staging. Welcome, Ellen.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's really wonderful to have you here as our first guest of this evening. And so tell us, what is home staging?
So home staging is where I work with realtors and homeowners to present their house for listing in the market. So we want to ensure that your list photos tell a story.
Wow.
And that they are super inviting so that when people are looking through the MLS, that's the house they stop at and decide they have to see in person.
That's amazing. So really making a house pop. And what kind of things do you do? I mean, as you stage a home, what are the things you're looking for that people are looking for when they're looking for a home?
I would say that we want to have furniture placement that invites people to come and spend time in a space. I would say that we go in and work with artwork to draw the eye around a house, and we want to feature things that are architectural features of the house. So we always want to have a focal point in a room, and we want the focal point to be something we're selling. So a fireplace, high ceilings, windows, things like that.
Wow. And we were just talking before, and I understand you've got a pretty good success rate as you do this.
I have now done over 1,250 houses. So I had a company in Calgary with a warehouse and staff. My husband and I decided after a week of solid minus 30 temperatures that it wasn't that fun to stage in minus 30. So we decided to move here, and we've been here now for 3 years.
Wonderful. That's really exciting. So that's a big transition, but it's not the only transition. I think you haven't always worked in home staging. So what brought you to this really interesting area of work?
So I worked in the oil and gas industry for about 30 years, and along with 150 of my friends was downsized during a downturn. But I'd always had a real interest in the MLS and the real estate market. It was bordering on obsession, I would say. I spent most of my lunch hours looking at home listings and deciding what I would change in those listings to make the houses sell. So when I got let go, my husband sat me down and said, listen, they're looking for project managers and change managers at another company. And I burst into tears and said I didn't want to do it anymore. And when he said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to stage houses. And he has been incredibly supportive. And he now works for me.
That's really nice. That's really special. And that's definitely a transition. But of course, as you're staging houses, you're working with people who are going through transitions too.
Very much so, yes. Moving is one of the most stressful things people can do, especially if you're listing a house during the holidays. It can be really, really stressful because Christmas already can be very stressful for people.
But it's an opportunity as well. And I think that might be why you named your company what you named it.
I did. I went through a massive transition when I changed careers. Being in a company for 30 years, knowing who I was, what I was expected to do, what my place was in that world, and having that pulled was very difficult for me. But I realized that I was going through a transformation. And as you know, a chrysalis is where a caterpillar becomes a butterfly or a moth.
Beautiful.
And I realized too that I was going to help my clients go through a massive transition as well. And hopefully they'll come out as a butterfly on the other end as well.
That's really beautiful. Before we close, I just wanted to bring up that you're not only helping people who are selling their homes. You mentioned as we were chatting previously how you're helping other people in the community. Can you talk about that?
We had the privilege of helping Haven House to create an intake room for people that are escaping violence in their homes. I was given that opportunity because I belong to the Nanaimo Women's Business Network, and somebody there had the great idea that I could come and help at Haven House. So I invited another stager that is in the local area. Her name's Eva Hurley, and my assistant Michelle Harlock and my husband came to Haven House. I donated the furniture to go into their intake room because people need to feel safe and comfortable when they're escaping violence. So we did that. And then we were allowed to add accessories and artwork and plants and things like that to one of their one-bedroom suites as well, helping people feel at home when they're getting into Haven House. These are things that we love to do because, for example, right now I'm trending out of gray furniture because that's no longer the trend. We're looking at warmer colors coming in. But Haven House, if I can create a beautiful space, they don't care if the couch is gray. So it gave me an opportunity to change out some of the inventory I'm currently working with and still give a hand up to someone.
Really make a difference. We've got to close now, but just as we go, what is, as we're looking at the holidays and thinking about the holiday season, and we all want our homes to be homier and warmer, what is one tip that you would give either to people who are selling their homes at this time, or just to all of us who want to make our homes warmer and more inviting?
I think the quickest and most inexpensive tip that I can give somebody who is listing their home or who's having a lot of people visit is to leave the lights on in your house that face the street. Right. Because if a buyer is looking at a house, they're going by generally to do a drive-by, and it's almost always in the evening. And with our lights going down, or with the sun going down the way it is earlier in the afternoon, keeping your lights on makes that house look lived in and welcoming and warm as people go by.
Leave the lights on. I
Leave
think that's
the
a
lights
really
on.
good motto. Thank you so much, Ellen. It's been really a treat to be able to chat with you this evening.
Thank you very much for having me.
Over to you, Teresa.
Thanks, Elspeth. I am so happy to be here with Jennifer Baker from On Track Wellness, and she is all about wellness and taking care of yourself. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with us today.
Awesome. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you.
This time of year, holiday time, we're all so busy, especially women, I think. We just end up taking on so much hustle and bustle and taking care of everybody else. We forget to take care of ourselves.
100%. I think, I've been talking to so many women that have been in the spa, and that is like the one reoccurring thing. I'm overwhelmed. I'm so busy. I don't have time. I'm trying to get the kids and get ready for Christmas and all the things. And I think it's really important, I believe, at this moment moving into 2025 is to set up what we don't want to do next year.
Yeah.
There's so many great things that we can be doing, but I think it's time to step back and go, what are the things I don't need to do that's not honoring me and how I'm going to move forward to be a healthier person for everybody in my family and myself.
Yeah, that is so true. And we'll often say, like, don't concentrate so much on the past. Look forward and make things better right? And what I find is that when I'm overwhelmed and stressed, it doesn't take very much to turn that around. An hour or half an hour with you in your spa can do that, just a short period of time. So it's not so onerous. It's not like people have to take a whole day or a week or that any large amount of time.
Well, I think, I mean, it's great. I mean, it's obviously great to talk about self-care in that way, but it's easy as just getting outside,
Yeah.
right? And taking just that little bit of time and going into the woods and touching the tree, or going down to the ocean and doing a cold dip. I mean, there's so many wonderful ways to honor ourselves. I mean, the spa is just different because of course it's with all the essential oils, and it's got
lovely.
like a different way of looking at it. But I really believe that there's so many beautiful modalities out there right now that can help both women and men, and even like a lot of the teenagers are going through a lot of hormonal stress right now as well.
Yeah. It's, in a lot of ways, the last few years are catching up with us. Things are definitely getting better. And we have to honor that and appreciate that and really take advantage of this. Let's make things better. You know, I love going out hiking. I hike every day, and that's my meditation. That's my just finding myself and my self-care. And of course, I come see you. I see you for a raindrop massage once a month, and I've made that commitment to myself. And I think that's important.
I think what is really great about it too is that in the month, every time you see somebody, it's like you get to have such an amazing friendship. It's not just about being a number and having, you know, like, okay, next, here comes my next client. Like, we become really good friends, and we share our lives and our children and the things that are going on in our holidays, and, you know, really get to know each other. And I think that that's really key too, to being able to speak to another woman and be heard.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Not be told or how to fix it, but just to be heard in a safe place.
Yeah, that's so important, to be heard. And if people don't have that, especially women, if they don't have the opportunity because they're so busy with kids and work and holiday prep and everything else, it is important to take that time and to form relationships.
Yeah, and I think, and I mean, this is a busy time, but it's also an amazing time to be with family and to just take some time and, like, you know, share bread and just enjoy each other, but to be getting ready for 2025, to make your intentions and manifest what you're really looking for, because that's what I do. I plant my seeds. What do I want to see from my business? What do I want to see from myself? What do I want to see with my relationship with my children and my husband? Right? So that is also something that is a great time to do that in the beautiful time of holidays when we might get some time off.
Yes, that is wonderful. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being with me today.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
New Year.
Yes.
And I challenge everybody to the law of attraction. Think about what you want.
Yes, 100%. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas.
All right, Kevin, it's up to you now.
Thank you very much, Teresa, and welcome. I'm Kevin Wagner, and I'm joined today with Lynn Varga. Lynn, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Lynn, your company is Refine Home Incorporated. What can you tell us a little bit about this? This is a personal business endeavor of yours.
It is. So I started my company about 3 years ago. I started out as a professional organizer, helping people create functionality in their home, making sure that things felt organized, orderly, and then I started moving into downsizing. I found real quick, then people said to me, I have too much stuff, took on the role of downsizing. So it kind of led originally from professional organizing, moving into downsizing.
And what compelled you to kind of pursue this at all? It was a second career choice for you, I understand.
It was my second career. So I started as an early childhood educator for 31 years, retired and thought, what am I going to do with myself? Always very passionate about working with people, obviously, and helping people create spaces that are calm, in order, wanting people to feel like home was really home. So it just kind of evolved into this really spectacular business. So yes.
I imagine there's transferable skills if you go from early childhood educator into this role now with your business. You talk about peaceful spaces and so on.
It really is. I think that was the big instigator for me, was realizing the importance of having children in spaces that are calm and feeling just nurturing. And I think that would be the same for a home environment or your business. You want that same feeling when people are working or coming into your business.
Sure enough. So tell us a little bit about what you do with people in their homes. Like, what are some examples of some of the services you bring to people that have hired you?
Well, let's talk maybe a little bit about the downsizing. It's a big, big part of my job. It's probably 60, 70% of my work that I do. People that are ready to say goodbye to things, or maybe they're not ready to say goodbye to things, they'll call me and I'll help them with the process of what to let go of, what to do with the things that they want to get rid of. And sometimes people just aren't ready, and I can kind of guide that process and help them make some of those decisions.
It seems like that process, you talk about downsizing, that is just by its own, it's just very overwhelming, it seems to me, for an individual. So for you to be able to come in kind of in an impartial way and help people navigate that, that probably helps people kind of get the wheels going on that process, I think.
Well, it does. And I mean, let's face it, it's not something that people wake up and say, oh, I'm so excited to tackle that closet, or I'm going to go out in the garage and declutter. I always like to say 2 heads are better than one, and it's okay to ask for help. And I'm going to say most of my clients will say to me, this was so much easier doing it with somebody else. And I'm going to help my clients with some of those decisions. And part of that is figuring out where things need to go.
Yeah. There's a bit of a double benefit this time of year. I imagine this is a year-round effort for you when you're helping people, but this time of year, there's a bit of an additional benefit we can find from that, I think. Tell me a bit about how that helps.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is the time to do it. I mean, a lot of people are out there now in thrift stores. That's where a lot of people shop. People are getting their basic needs from some of these organizations. So if you're in your closet and you know you've got Christmas coming, we tend to get more things at this time of year. This is a great time to say, hey, you know what? I don't need this many socks in my sock drawer. I've got 14 coats. I'm going to let go of 3 coats. This is the absolute time of year to let go of things, be willing to give yourself a little bit of a nudge and say, I'm going to downsize, I'm going to declutter.
Yeah, and I imagine you can provide resources for people. There's always agencies in the community that could use those gently used items that maybe people are done with. They can pass it on to agencies. They can make a difference in the lives of others as well. There's a kind of a win-win situation there.
It is, and I think that's sometimes where people get paralyzed, is they don't know what to do with their stuff. So people can give me a call. I always love to share that information because there are so many organizations all across Vancouver Island and centers where people can actually take those items and know that they're going to get repurposed in the community.
Oh, that's great. It's an easy task to be overwhelmed by. So for you to be able to come in and help people, that's great. Where can people learn a little bit more about do you have a website that people could look more and learn more about it?
So Refine Home Inc. has a website. I get lots of texts, emails. People can reach me. They can call me if they prefer to. Lots of my clients like to call, and sometimes that first step is the hardest. And once we connect, I think people feel a little bit of like, I'm not going to do this on my own. So I really encourage people to kind of make that first step happen, and I'm more than happy to come and do a consultation and get the process started.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you taking the time to share with us, give people a chance to overcome that anxiety and not be so overwhelmed by it. So thank you very much for sharing.
Yeah,
I really
my
appreciate
pleasure.
It. Excellent.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right. Well, for now, we're going to throw it over to Cathy and Rita. What have you got, ladies?
Thanks, Kevin. What a wonderful way to start another conversation about giving things up and sharing things with other people. And thanks a whole bunch for that interview, you guys. With me now is the incomparable, the marvelous, the wonderful, my favorite name in the world, Rita Innamorati. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Great, thanks, Cathy.
Well, I just love saying your name, and I do that all the time. It's crazy, but I really do love saying your name. But what I love more is the stuff you're doing in the community. And I know that you were on the show last month. I just wanted to tell our viewers how things are going and sort of give them a bit of an update. So would you mind sharing how are things going with the Christmas Angels program? Give us an update.
Well, I can't say that things could possibly be better. This community has just really come out full force. And sorry, I just get so emotional when I talk about stuff like that because it always surprises me, it amazes me. People dropping by with checks, with cash, just to help us get those last families done. We were down to about 90 families about a week ago, and now we're down to about 50, 55, I think. So we are like in such good form. It's going to be a busy next 10 days for sure. Yeah. But that's the great part about it is, you know, the busier we get, the more fun we have. And
the more people are helped. And so people kind of get the right idea. When we say that we're down on these numbers, that means that those families have found Christmas angels to support those individuals. Is that correct? So there's 50 families left.
That's correct.
That sort of need that extra additional help, right?
You know, when I sent out the call, people were calling in and writing in, and it's like, yeah, we can take an extra family, you know, a family of 2 or an extra family of 3. Yeah. So that's been amazing. But also this year, incredibly, we've had so many new people signing up to be angels.
Wow.
It's probably the most I've ever seen in one season. Yeah. And more companies that have actually considered Volunteer Nanaimo Christmas Angels to be their charity of choice.
It's the work is so important, and the impact is even more important. I think last year, you and I were just doing one of the radio shows recently, and we were talking about the difference between last year and this year. And so just to share with our audience, I think last year there were 1,150 50 individuals, and 450 families that were served?
454 households.
454 households, yeah.
It was closer to 1,500 individuals.
So when people are vetted to participate in this program, it has to come through an agency. It's not, you can't just call and say, I need a little bit of help, right? Let's talk a little bit about, to remind people what the vetting process is.
So as much as we would love to help everyone who called, and we would, believe me, it's just not possible. I mean, the need is overwhelming in this community, and we like to help as many people as we can. Yeah. The vetting process is very, I'm not going to say it's simple because it is time consuming, but we do rely on the agencies that we work with throughout the year to send us their clients or people that they're working with. They know they're in need. So it's either low income or trauma-based. It could be trauma-based. It doesn't have to be income related. And of course, our youth. You know, we love our youth. It used to, when we first started around 2015, 2016, we started bringing youth on board, and it was the hardest sell I'd ever had. And now it's the first demographic to be taken care of. And our youth are so well taken care of. And we just had someone in today that we were talking to about it because they really didn't know a lot about how we took care of the youth. But really, when you think about children, even if they're 18, 17, 19, alone on Christmas, and this hamper, this gift bag might be the only thing they have. They might be alone that day, but at least they've got, you know, some gifts, generally needs, things that they needed, but at least they have the impact of somebody caring, because they don't have that all the time. And I think that's so important. It's just so important to get these young people understanding that they do matter, that they are cared for, if not by someone in their immediate family, but someone in the community. A complete stranger is willing to go out and get these things for you, whether it's a set of pots and pans or a set of utensils or a blanket, a warm blanket, a pair of scissors, some art supplies so that you've got something to pass the time. It's really not as huge an ask as people would think, but the impact is incredible.
Thank you for sharing the impact. There's so much more to this story, and I want to share a little bit of something, so join me over here. You know, it's funny when we talk about the concept of giving things away at Christmas time and bringing things together at Christmas time and trying to sometimes figure out what do we keep and what do we get rid of and who do we donate to and who do we not. The choices are endless in our community to help the people that need it the most. And I think what's most interesting about all of it is so many people don't understand what happens after you gift something. So many people will take food to the food bank. They will bring an unwrapped toy. They might even give a big check and wonder, did I really make a difference? And so I'm going to share a little story with you. And I hope that you will share this with someone else that you love. And I hope it becomes a reason to give. I'd like to introduce you to my family. And I got to be really careful with this, you guys. So as you're watching, I am going to be emotional about that. And I believe in vulnerability is also a healing side of things. This is my mom and my older sister. They're both in heaven now. This is me with the little blunt cut and my little sister. And we were one of those families that our community helped. Growing up, we didn't have anything. We had a lot of love. We had a lot of laughter, but we didn't have food. We had nothing at Christmas, except for the kindness of people like you. My early Christmas presents came from the Salvation Army, the CK&W Orphans Fund, the food bank, and so many other things. But this isn't a story of tears, it's a story of joy. In 1969, we opened the door to the fire department and to a kind person from the Salvation Army who gave each of my sisters and I a Christmas present. I was 5. And in one of the pretty packages that was wrapped especially for my family because of someone like you, I got to open up my very first beautiful little red purse. And inside that little red purse was a little container that had makeup, fake makeup, plastic lipstick and a plastic eyeshadow and all those things, which I know, as you can tell, wear relatively often. But what's more important about that was inside of that purse was also a little book that I've shared with the community on and off over the years, but I have never brought it out for people to truly see. This was inside the book in 1969. And in 2024, coming on to 2025, it's one of my most cherished possessions because it reminds me that the community helped me and my family feel like we mattered, to feel like we were connected. This show, Act 3, is about my family. My mom, your mom, our moms, our dads, our sisters, our brothers, our friends, and all those people that are right now wondering whether or not they're going to have a Christmas this year. And so I tell you with love and joy and with gratitude that you are making a difference. And because of you, I'm the person that I am today. And from all of our volunteers, for everybody, from Rogers, from everyone with all the platforms that we do this great work from all the agencies that are in Vancouver Island doing the work that they do to make sure that families like my family are remembered. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Merry Christmas, everyone. Hey.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We'll see you next time on Act 3.